Well, I had to delete my little video about Veridical Cadence since he has now put up a video. He's encouraging people to mirror that video, and I would mirror it if I knew how. But you can go to Redline's channel and see it. He put it up, I don't know how many hours ago, but it's recent. And he tells the story basically from how he saw it and gives actual factual I rhymed details. So if you want it straight from the horse's mouth, as they say, go check out his video. But I deleted mine because I went with, anytime you hear somebody, relaying information from somebody, it's gonna get muddled. It's like the story of Jesus. I'm sure over time has been the legend, the myth, whatever, I call it a myth, has been muddled. But anyway, so I deleted the video reluctantly because it had 24 likes, but I deleted it. But I'm not apologizing to the person that his video is mostly about, Bible thumping wingnut. I'm not apologizing to that person. I think his dishonesty shows through. He runs with the pack. There's a little pack of jackals on YouTube, and he runs with them. And unfortunately, Matthew 4:19 has a little less restraint, and so the moment he gets any dirt on somebody, he can't wait to use it, put it out there. So the fact that anyway, I don't want to say too much because I don't want to start another thread of inaccurate conceptions of what actually happened. I just think people should go and to Redline's channel and watch Veridical Cadence's video, because he explains himself very well and what happened very well. He does unfortunately apologize to BTWN, which I think is uncalled for. I think that of course the information came from this clown. Where else could it have come from? And he's a lowlife. I'm gonna say the opinions he has about gay people, him and his ilk. I'm just looking at his page and his videos. Atheism exposed. See, what I don't like about people like this and the videos that they put up, they act like it's a atheism, arrogance, and whatever. I'm just oh, he made one about Bionic Dance, the fact that she left. Atheist, arrogance, and bionic bail. Then there's one he says all atheists are bad people. The video atheists do not want you to see. He doesn't understand what an atheist is, and it pisses me off because atheists aren't making any claims, are we? We don't believe in your God, and you have failed to convince. How is that? There's another thing he wrote somewhere, the folly of atheism. How is that a folly? How is that? How is atheism exposed? It's a lack of belief. The fact that you are constantly, you and people like you, and I'm talking to BTWN, calling us bad people just because we don't believe what you believe. You're constantly putting us on the defense, making us out to be horrible people, or saying that we don't exist. So we try to argue why we don't believe, and suddenly atheists exposed. Atheism exposed. What are you exposing? The fact that we don't believe? The fact that we try to defend the fact that we don't believe, why we don't believe? How is that exposing us? For what? I think that people, when they don't believe in something, will do their best to explain why they don't believe in something. And usually it takes honesty to do that. I don't believe in something because you have failed to show it exists, is about as clear as it gets as far as an explanation. You have not proven that it exists. The only thing you have as your evidence is a book that has been proven to be in error in so many ways, and a creation of the church in so many ways. The church, which had an agenda in so many ways. That's your proof. You say the only way to get to know God is to read this piece of shit that is so filled with errors. That's the only way to get to know your God. And that is the only evidence that you have for your God. And because you don't have any evidence, you tell atheists, well, you need to prove that he doesn't exist. Which is impossible. You cannot prove that unicorns don't exist. You cannot prove that the boogeyman doesn't exist. You cannot prove that Aquaman doesn't exist. You can't prove that something that doesn't exist doesn't exist. The proof is on the person who's claiming that it does exist. Okay, show us the evidence of its existence. How difficult is that? In any other thing like Bigfoot, the person who thinks Bigfoot exists is the one out there trying to get the evidence. And some people dedicate their whole lives to being out there trying to get the evidence, because they understand that until they have the evidence, nobody is going to believe them. How hard of a concept is that for you to grasp? Instead, because you have no evidence except a book that's not only filled with error, but a great deal of it shows your God to be a bloodthirsty, genocidal maniac. That's all you have is this book. You tried to twist it around and put it on atheists. And when atheists can't whatever, you put out these little tactics for mind tricks. You even teach classes apparently on how to twist your words around and avoid answering questions, and avoid having to actually, give a straight answer. Instead of giving a straight answer and being honest, you have these presuppositional apologist classes, and you teach a technique for how to divert the attention onto the atheists and make the atheists have to try to explain themselves for simply not being able to believe. And then you say, atheism exposed. What the fuck are you thinking is exposed? What is atheism hiding exactly? We're pretty upfront about the fact that we don't think your God exists, and that's why we're atheists, because we don't think your God exists. Atheists are nothing more than people who don't believe in your God because you have failed to convince us. The fault is yours. The fault is in your religion. The fault is in your book. The fact that it is so vague that anybody could come up with a different translation or interpretation at any given time and say, well, mine is the only correct translation. Mine is the only correct interpretation. Whatever. There's only one interpretation for an atheist. Either it exists or it doesn't, and you haven't shown proof that it does. There's only one kind of atheist, somebody who doesn't believe in your God. Depending on how much tolerance we have, some of us just let you go on screaming and yelling the filthy lies that you say from the rooftops. That's what you revel in. You want to be the only voice heard. Others of us get really tired of being called names and called whatever, bad people or dishonest people or whatever. You just want to be atheist so you can run around enjoying sin, enjoying your sinful life. You know what? I am a sinful, which I don't believe that there's even such a thing as sin. I live the same as I did. In fact, I live better now. I don't go to bars. I don't drink like I used to. When I was at the worst of my depression, during most of it, I was still a Christian. And I was drinking like a fish. It was like a passive-aggressive desire to kill myself. I didn't care anymore. I saw what drinking did to my friend. almost killed him, the one with Hep C. And so I saw that it was a way to die, and I think that's part of me wanted to die, and I was drinking a lot for that reason. But I was also a Christian when I was doing that. We aren't atheists because we like to run around sinning. I don't particularly like feeling guilty about never being good enough, which is what your religion did for me. I don't feel that way anymore. I understand that people all make mistakes, and that's not you take that fact that people all make mistakes they regret and use that as a way to guilt them into feeling that they need your religion, or else they're going to be punished for all eternity for making a mistake. Anyway, I just have very little opinion of these people. I think they're slime. I think people who attack other people for being honest about what they can and cannot believe are slime. People who insinuate that other people who don't have their same beliefs are evil are slime. Ooh, atheism exposed. Like we have some kind of... He talks like it's a religion. It's not a religion. It's not a plot against Christianity. It's just a bunch of people that agree about one thing. We don't believe in your God. And, you know, your stupid suppositional apologist arguments are clearly just dancing around the issue to avoid having to actually answer questions and actually show evidence. So it doesn't convince, it doesn't do anything but, once again, oh, have you lied? Well, you know, lying is a sin, so you deserve to be burned forever in hell. All it is one more way to try to guilt people or put fear in people so they follow your religion, which is a lie and a poison. It makes people feel like they can never be good enough, and it destroys people's self-esteem. That's my biggest problem with it. It destroyed my self-esteem. But I also see what it does to other people's self-esteem and other people and how they treat other people. I mean, they think that this book gives them a right to attack people and say, well, you deserve to have your knees broken and be burned forever in hell. What a despicable thing to make somebody have that mentality, to create that kind of thinking in somebody. What a poison that is. And I've already said in other videos why I think it's a harm against society and the world. It needs to go. I'm sorry, your filthy religion needs to go. One thing else I wanted to add, I think it's interesting. You guys invite other guys to debate you, but you never invite women, do you? I've never seen, maybe I'm wrong. I try to avoid looking at your channels, but maybe you do invite women, but I don't see any where you're debating a woman atheist. And, you know, I've put up several videos saying what I think of you and why I think what I think of you. I have yet to see a video coming back at me about it. What, you think because we're women, we aren't on your level? We're just not worthy to debate you or worthy to acknowledge. That's kind of how it comes across. But that wouldn't surprise me, because that goes right against the mentality, or right with, I should say, the mentality that you show as Christians. Well, you know, women are less, and gay people are abominations, and atheists are bad, evil people who just want to go around fucking everything and eating babies. Well, fuck you. You know, I get tired of... We wouldn't even be making videos, and we wouldn't even be talking to you if you would just leave us alone and let us not have your beliefs. We don't want to believe something that isn't true. You have to show us that it's true, and then after you show us that this thing exists, you know, then we still need to want to believe in it. You know, it's like once we believe that it exists, there's still the why would we follow and worship it thing. You know, if I could be shown that it exists, I would be able to say, okay, well, I do believe in God. But I would continue to say that he's a vengeful, genocidal jerk who revels in killing pregnant women and babies and putting little girls as slaves, sex slaves to the Israelite soldiers. I wouldn't want to follow him for a second. I wouldn't want to worship him or praise him for even a second because of what I read about him in your Bible. So even if you could prove that he exists, why would I ever bend my knees to that thing? You know? I wouldn't go shake Hitler's hand, and he is like 100 million times worse than Hitler ever was. So, okay, this is getting really long, but I really get tired of people accusing atheists of being bad people, and then when we try to defend ourselves, then we get videos like atheism exposed or further evidence of the folly of atheism. It's not a folly, it's people being honest about what they believe and what they don't believe. I don't believe in your God. You can say that's folly until you're blue in the face, but sorry, you are the one who has failed to convince people. You and Matthew 4:19 and people who come on and lie and do things to manipulate other people so you can corner them and badger them and abuse them with your so-called truth that you don't ever actually stop and try to prove, except study how to dance around the questions. They don't have to. Okay, this is getting long and I'm beginning to repeat myself, so thanks for watching if you have. Bye.